Now they are doing what they did not do before the presidential elections. Their media presence and social activities are more visible now and intensified. Will these activities have any effects on next week election? On the 18th elections now, or Muyiwa?
Yeah.
What do you think of this last minute rally we do to change the momentum during the governorship elections?
I think it's very difficult to at least hazard a guess whether it's late or not too late. But I know that a substantial part of Nigerians have made up their minds, given the fact that the way and manner they voted, I think just about two weeks ago. So all what happened was not by accident. Is people's determination and the decision to vote. But I think for them to start convincing people, at the same time, one might say it's not too late, because with these beavers wahala, at least getting ability to convince a voter, I think can determine a lot of things. So what I'm saying is that any last minute thing you can do, at least to get voters to your side, that's the essence of democracy, to convince them, because you cannot coerce again. It seems the issue of ballot snuffing is getting out of the equation now. Though I think the tribunal, I think it will unveil some things that maybe we didn't know how some infractions happened during the presidential
elections
and National Assembly elections. But until that time, I think, but obviously, the issue of ballot snatching and all those things associated with the manual accreditation, I think, seems to have given way to the electronic way but now. So we can see some panicking measure. I think some of the last minute thing you can talk about, because the APC in Lagos State seemed very comfortable before. I think they never thought what happened and it will ever happen to them. I think it was like a tsunami. So it's some kind of earthquake, which they would never envisaged. And that's why you can see some panicking measures, I think, from the governor, not only from the governor, from the all APC leaders, begging people, I think, trying to do one or two things, I think, to convince, or maybe to just, I think, lure voters to their side. We saw Governor Sanwo-Olu feeding people. We begin to imagine when last did that happen. So we saw them now, I think, ask that you see, still we don't have last mile again in Lagos, to the extent that you see all those areas Okada were banned from moving.
They are coming out now.
So they are coming out and nobody's asking questions. So you see last mile people now doing their work. Last mile ordinarily supposed to be directing traffic. They're supposed to help not to allow congestion, but they were creating more of crisis on the traffic.
So they can benefit from it.
To benefit from it. So looking at all those mundane things, but now you see them performing their work with a certain sense of civility. You now begin to imagine, when did we have a newborn last mile officials in Lagos State? By and large, you now saw them asking people whose vehicles had been impounded
to come and collect them free of charge.
But I see a lot of these are panicking measures.
Yes.
That even they can promote lawlessness, which is not good to some extent, because some people that their vehicle were pounded, maybe some people took one way or the other. So if they are now saying they will not answer for their crime. So what's possible that by tomorrow we won't see people taking one way again. Some of us have done that before, but Lagos has taught us to be kind of sanity. I personally, several times, I think when Lagos was still crude as it was, from Tomiland Bridge we take it to Bagada one way, and then from Ile-Zik to Ejigbo, I think one way has been our major route. So, but now nobody dares do that. But by now, with this panicking measure of going around begging, almost frustrating, going to churches now, I think all the sectional heads that have never been talked to for some time. But that's beauty of democracy. They have been shocked.
Thank you
and they are
very much.
reacting to it.
The beauty of democracy is okay. The beauty of democracy, according to Muyiwa now, is placing the people above you.
Sure.
You not beg them. And that is ascribed to the momentum of Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Would you say that these people, APC, PDP, expected this tsunami, using Mr. Muyiwa's words, using tsunami, I mean, based on this Obi tsunami, or they underrated Obi? They were calling him trader before. Now, the impact of his coming to the elections can be widely seen. Okada riders, just for being a Labour Party member, win election. Other kind of people you not expect to even win in the first place. And you may be very surprised that the so-called Okada riders had a free day to become a candidate, because people did not expect that Labour was going to win anything. They just allow whoever to be there. And now this is where we are. Do you think they took them for granted, or this is just a happenstance?
I had a conversation with someone this morning, and we were reviewing the election. And one of the things I said to her was that this election that we had on the 25th of February was a reaction. It was a silent protest. It was a civil protest. It was a well-coordinated protest. Peter Obi was just the whole NSAS movement. If you look at the numbers of people that were percentage of the total PVCs registered and put up to this election, was not just about Peter Obi as it were. Peter Obi was, it's not like he's a young person as it is, but of the lots, he was assumed to be the lesser devil. That's the basic thing. I mean, you've been the governor of the state for 2 terms, so you're not particularly new, or it's not like you can be particularly, removed from all of the things. The fact that there were allegations that he didn't conduct local government election for about 7.5 years that was in office, all of those things together. So I remember also that when this whole conversation started, somebody was saying, oh, there's nothing like third force, it's not going to happen, it's a wave that will soon go off, it's a social media buzz, it's not going to last, it's not going to take the test of time. Labour Party have about 6 senators now, if I'm not mistaken, and there's a probability that they will still get more. Now they have about 15 House of Reps members, there's a probability that they will still get more. Now the House of Assembly seats, if the election has been held this Saturday, I'm sure they will have won a lot of seats, even in this Lagos. I mean, Labour Party won Lagos. They won Surulere, they won Ikeja, they won Amuwo-Odofin, they won Ojo, they won Eti-Osa, they won Alimosho of all places in Lagos. So I think it was, for the people that understood the political calculation here, yeah, we're used to the two-way thing, from the AD to AC to ACN. Of course, the PDP had always stood since 1999 till now. So when the Labour Party came, a lot of people felt, oh, Peter Obi just left. When he left PDP, how many people left with him? Where is Labour Party? Peter Obi took Labour Party from 0 to 100. He made Labour Party on the ranking. In fact, at the last presidential election in 2019, the Labour Party candidate got less than 6,000 votes in all the vote cast. Peter Obi got over 6 million votes just 4 years later. So it's a wave. It's just like when they say opportunity meets preparation. Peter Obi was just positioned to ride on that wave. So why we would argue, I don't think anybody underrated anybody. You already saw the momentum was coming up. I mean, we saw the rallies, we saw the reaction, we saw the campaigns, we saw all of the calculation. Then the government in power was deliberately demarketing its own political party with all of those draconian politics, all of those unnecessary policies. Simple administrative policy of changing naira notes was politicized. People didn't get money to live on. People didn't get money to take care of their responsibilities. People didn't get fuel to buy. So it was a combination of a whole lot. So the vote we had on the 25th of February was a protest vote. A protest vote against anarchy that will have existed in this country. A protest vote against the young people, for the young people that are saying we're tired of the status quo. So it is not about somebody underrated one person. It is about a section of the country saying we have the numbers.
No, I'm not really saying one person. The momentum.
That's what I'm saying. It's a section of some people saying we have the number, we have the strength, We have the advantage. Let us make these people involved in that plan.
The youths.
You cannot be 75 years old and be the youth leader. Understand what it means for my dreams and my aspirations to be suppressed by politics that are anti-people.
Of the National Assembly now, you know, you in your response earlier, you said we were used to two parties at the National Assembly. At the National Assembly, from the results so far, we already have about 8 parties to the National Assembly system. A whole lot of changes that you cannot say we now, our party, you know, our great party, our this or that, because you have other parties to contend with. Has a very visible impact. I can state at the state assemblies. Same thing. What in democracy too?
Well, I think if we were to look at this year's election, this is the first time attention that reflect the mind, the wish of the people. Because if you look at basically 53%, and if you look at that trend till 2019, though it was dropped to my degree that were posting almost 2 million, even when there were serious crises in that state. So I think the best, if you sum all the votes we got this last election, it's less than 600,000 or 700,000 from 2 million. So you begin to wonder why the drop. But what we discover is that, as we said, Beavers did that magic, and that's why we were able to have many surprises. And the same surprise got also the National Assembly, where we're having 8 parties. The Senate, 7 parties at present. In the House of Rep, that's why we're talking of 8 parties.
Okay.
But be as it may, the APC, if I'm not mistaken, in the Senate is leading with 52 or 57 members. If I'm not mistaken,
Still counting.
Still counting. So I think they're almost having about simple majority. But we may not be definitive with all this because we don't know what tribunal, the verdict,
we
bring out later. Because by the time you begin to subtract, you begin to look at where we have infractions and removing this and adding that. But as it is now, and APC is having absolute simple majority in the National Assembly. So meaning that I think all the principal officers may have
still be coming.
And let me tell you something. What we can really calculate on now is that we may not at the end of the day have more than 3 or 4 patches at the end of the next 1 year, because some will kill it. Do you understand? But with the determination of Labour Party, PDP, and
NNPP,
you know, Labour Party, APC, PDP, APC, PDP, Labour Party, do you understand? They are likely to sustain at least their membership, because in National Assembly, what the experience has taught us that some people that will gain access through using smaller parties, by the time they want to belong in National Assembly,
they will go to the big one. It's about numbers.
So because look at the other time, we had some people with ADC that want to the one election to National Assembly.
Even SDP in the reps.
So how many of them I think were still in those parties? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because by the time you start the real politics of National Assembly, I think you know that might not be good to be an offer. Do you understand? So, but as it is now, but we see those 3 parties that may be able to hold their own. Do you understand? In the National Assembly.
But they always have a hope that it can.
Yes, we have the
major next time. But those smaller parties, that as if there's no ends.
Certainly.
They will just evaporate like that.
They might. I think, but based on the experience and the politicians for what they are. But the politics of National Assembly certainly might not be the same, because with the larger number of the opposition coming up, they didn't have absolute majority. Yeah. So they only having simple majority.
Yes.
So and with that simple majority, if the opposition work together, they at least they might make strong surprises, even some impacts at National Assembly. Because in National Assembly, the last National Assembly, the 9th National Assembly, had been a more or less a rubber stamp to the Mr. President, all APC and that kind of thing. So those things that are supposed to scrutinize very well, even the oversight functions Nigerians supposed to give to some parastatals, MDAs, and to get these people on their toes, they could not do it. Even when Mr. President were making some infractions and anti-democratic steps that the National Assembly
he was not
they couldn't call him to order.
So they couldn't call him to order, and which is not good for the democracy.
The president said he doesn't want to embarrass Mr.
He said whatever Mr. President brings, as long as in the interest of the nation, he will approve it.
That's also, which is very bad. I think it's not good for democracy. But this election, do you understand, has taught us a great lesson that if you take people for granted with the beavers, the coming back the next 4 years thinking that they are coming like a landlord is no more there. You know that anything may happen. So, but we expect the National Assembly, as it were now, to do their thinking and calculation right, starting from the principal officers. In the sense that I think the Southwest has been excluded from it, from the National Assembly principal officers. The Northeast has been excluded, being the home of the
Vice President.
Even Central, I think should not be talking because that is chairman of the party. Not chairman of the party. So meaning that we are looking at
Southeast
and South, and perhaps Northwest. So that's why we are looking at. I think
Okoduwa,
Akpabio. These are these people. I think between Oji Kalu and Akpabio. They are the ranking officers that are returning to the Senate. So people are looking at who between the two is going to be the Senate president. But by and large, I think we expect. I think about two of them. They are still establishing people. Either Akpabio, either Oji. They are establishing people. So we don't know how
they're going to play
the ball. But certainly Nigeria expects a National Assembly that will strengthen democracy, that will put Mr. President on his toes.
That's the next point I was going to ask. Two ways I was coming to that before. A National Assembly that will strengthen democracy. Looking at it from the composition now, when you were mentioning something about cross-carpeting, before now, cross-carpeting was like any day, anytime. You understand that? But when we know that cross-carpeting itself has consequences, you know, now we expect the judiciary to play that role very well. That when you cross-carpet, except in extreme cases, you lose your seat. It may not be quite attractive to cross-carpet. You know what? It is better for you to remain where you are than to seek to cross-carpet. Because once you cross-carpet, if the judiciary should stick to the provision of the Constitution, you lose your seat. Now, plus that in mind, and what Muyiwa just said, giving an extra fillip to the judiciary and to the National Assembly and their performance, do you think that with this large composition, our democracy would have risen above what it has been?
First off, this program is being streamed live, so if you want to watch us live in the studio, you certainly can join us on all our social media platforms. Mainland 98.3 FM on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Mainland 983 FM, as you can watch us live. Now, one of the biggest wins for me in this just concluded presidential and National Assembly election is the fact that we have a system where you would have to sit back, relax, and enjoy what is going to unfold, especially when the politics of the National Assembly starts. I mean, the two front runners for the Senate president, that's the third man, number 3 man in the country, is obviously between, for the calculation, for fairness, for equity, for, what it is, federal character and, distribution of responsibilities, is going to be either Oji Uzor, all things being equal, or Governorship Akpabio. I don't want to bring in the sainthood or the possibility of them. I mean, remember Uzor was actually sentenced, because of some crime issues, and then he had to come up because of the legality of the. They didn't say he didn't commit those crimes. No, they just said that the court did not have the jurisdiction to hear the matter, and technical ground, died. So the matter died. I mean, all of these things are still going to be there. Let's put that aside. Now, if you look at the composition of the National Assembly, against all odds, Nasarawa State produced SDP senators.
Exactly.
There are a lot of Labour Party senators. Labour Party House of Representative members. The NNPP they produce senators and senator and House of Rep members. The PDP also, as at the last count, I think they were 29. The APC 54 as at the last count. And as time goes on, I mean, there are some states that they've conducted only one senatorial district. For Enugu, for instance, they still have a senatorial district to conduct. Sokoto, all of the 3 senatorial districts were declared inconclusive. So all of those elections will still come up. And as time goes on, the numbers will definitely, but it is most likely that the APC would retain the majority, the simple majority in the House of both chambers, and that's the green and the red chambers. But it is not going to be business as usual. Now, we saw what played out at the start of, the last assembly, when it was the previous one under the Senate presidency of former governor of Kwara State, Senator Bukola Saraki. The alliance between himself and the PDP to produce an opposition as the deputy Senate president in Senator Okoduwa.
That's exactly what I was going to ask, because situations like that,
exactly,
will not allow you to stick to a certain prediction. Because you never thought that a National Assembly will come where you have the
APC Senate President and
PDP
Deputy Senate President.
You don't.
You're literally on the same table.
It's not coming to your imagination.
So
that makes your prediction to be limited.
So now, is it a good thing for democracy that we have diversity in the National Assembly? Yes. Because the moment, that's one of my problems with state houses of assembly. The moment everybody sleeps and they put their head in the same place, you probably would even see a situation whereby the state house of assembly will be discussing executive bills. They will not even raise their own bills anymore. They'll just be discussing bills, whatever the governor or commissioners are brought to the floor of the house. The beauty of democracy is when you have different opinions. The beauty of democracy is when people know that the number game is real. So I won't blame someone that came into the house on the platform of the SDP. He knows he's not even minority. He is minority of minority. So when they're even sharing committees in the house, you will not get the juicy committee. You will not get the house committee on downstream. You will not get the house committee on navy. You will not get the house committee on finance. You will not get all of those committees
because you know street lights.
Because you don't exactly. You don't have the numbers. You just probably because one secretary of one committee. But then if you would always say that I have my
but those positions would have been occupied by people anyway.
Either ways, you would say that, oh, my constituency, I want to their best interest in that. Then you look at this the party that is in the power and say, okay, let me align with this one. Let me stick with this one. I know a lot of people that went into the floor of the house. The youngest House of Rep member in the last assembly is from Irekpodun Felodun from Ondo, the riverine side of Ondo. They call him Small Alaji. He won the election on the floor of the SDP, on the platform of the SDP, and he declined to the APC. Unfortunately, he lost his election. He lost his re-election. But now, there's Senator Ifeanyi Uba that went to the floor of the house on the platform of the YPP. He didn't decamp. He still won his re-election on the platform of the same YPP.
Exactly.
So he has his ways of doing his things in the house. He's just in his own world. Despite the fact that he's in a minority, he still has the attention of the powers that play on the floor of the house. So those are the things that will come into play. But is it a good thing for our democracy? Yes. Let different people come with different. I'm always careful to mention the word ideology, because it's absolutely alien to the political system in this country. But let us agree that there are ideologies in the political parties. It is good that the PDP would have a different ideology towards development. The Labour Party would have a different ideology towards development. The APC would have a different ideology towards development. So when everybody comes on board, it is not just about what my party wants. It is what my constituents are waiting for me to bring back to them. So you consider those people. I'm really looking forward to the 10th assembly, not just because I think they will do anything differently, but because I feel, one, there are a lot of young people that are coming to the system. A lot of young people under 30s won their election. So there's going to be a challenge on the status quo. There's going to be a challenge on sit down, look. There's going to be a challenge on the years and the nays. There's going to be a challenge on, let me just go to the house, collect my sitting allowance and go home. There's going to be a challenge on
market my finger.
Yes, there's going to be a challenge on let me get my constituency allowance. There's going to be a challenge on let me get my committee sitting allowance. No, it is going to be, I mean, you are on the floor of the house. I'm not, disregarding age here now, but you are 65 or you are 67, and then there's a 29-year-old boy that's coming with fire. you are presenting a bill and is countering your bill with so much energy, you will sit back and call your aides and say, please prepare a better bill for me next time. Don't let that small boy in quote ridicule me. So there's going to be any precedent. Now, the president, when the issue of this, we're not saying the House should be rebellious. What we are saying is that we want a vibrant National Assembly that will not just perform the function, independent National Assembly, that will not just perform their function of lawmaking, but they will effectively perform their function of oversight function. In fact, the oversight function is very key. There are some ministries in this country that are moribund. There are some ministries in this country that if you see their budget and you ask them, what was the last time you produced ordinary rubber? Or ordinary, you tell you that, oh, we produce kilishi, we're exporting kilishi now. There are ministries in this country that their staff strength is even more than some universities. Okay. And they're not producing anything.
Well done. Muyiwa, from what Okoye has just said, I still have my line up, but then from what he has said, I'm looking at the situation where the results of this election, especially last week election, because it reflects into the state election, that's National Assembly and President, the same parties. We are into party politics. What should differentiate party A from party B is ideology. So it may not be right to say, let me not mention ideology. What do you think? Now we have this so many parties producing people in the National Assembly. We first talk about the campaign. The campaign becomes easy when you go into the assembly, the national state, without a focus. Just going there, as far as who support you, put your hand, the nay and nay, you do your hand like that, and the rest of them. What do you think should we give standard to our legislation now? Standard to party loyalty outside ideology. If we don't have ideology in parties, it don't mean that we have only one party. At any given time, all of them can come together and perform.
Even the APP, do you understand what I'm saying? Because it started with the APP, PDP, then the same hand. We want to be ideological. Do you understand? So you can say, okay, this was expecting from at least this particular party. But now, what I think that take politicians, Volvo, like around on Pojo, do you understand? So, but the point we are making is that I think the party politics here in Nigeria, there's no ideology. Do you understand? It's Republican.
You would know. You would know. You would know where it's coming from.
You quickly point that. But my brother,
sorry to cut you. Somebody said something
that. So that's the problem we have in Nigeria. But what make difference, my people? Listen, Labour Party just understand. Not necessarily Peter Obi made the mess. It was the party was in serious mess by the handlers of that party, right? But the crossing over of Peter Obi to that party, even if whether I don't know whether Accord, Action Alliance, ADC, do you understand? And if following there, because one is the Nigeria at that time wanted somebody that will give them, do you understand, a kind of well to the masses. Do you understand? Look at my point. He immediately went to alliance with the leaders of NSAS that for you. So with that one, I think he was able to get a mass number of youths, do you understand, to himself, vibrant everywhere. Up to now, still very, very vibrant. Say anything against Peter Obi on Twitter now. Do you understand? And no one's, I think
nobody will tell you.
Nobody will tell you. That's what I'm saying. But the point is that Obi went from PDP to Labour Party, do you understand, is without any ideology, but is his person. Is his pedigree, Labour Party.
Just as you said, he gave the people a new face.
A new face.
Maybe not necessarily a better face.
No, a new face. I'm not. That
talk of better or not is a conversation for another day.
Yes, because that you have not heard of PDP. Maybe appreciates the progress we are making politically. So they are looking for a new thing. Hopefully and prayerfully, that new thing will give us a better thing.
Yes.
But not better thing before new things. We are just looking for new things, and will be brought in something new. And again, they said third force. people regarded Obi as not really a third force. That even Obi and Kwankwaso put together cannot really become third force, because these two parties, PDP and APC, presented to us some very gigantic.
They look like you can't penetrate them.
I mean, dinosaurs that you cannot overcome. But suddenly, this is what we have now. Thank God for this election. Where I want to give me, with all these things, with the new Nigeria, sorry, not new Nigeria yet, with this new development of so many people in the National Assembly, likely to reflect in the state assembly elections, if it happens, with this constellation of different political viewpoints in the National Assembly, give me your picture of a new Nigeria politics.
To start with, you can still watch us live on all our social media platforms. We're streaming. Around 2010, there was a certain Olusegun Mimiko that was like the poster boy of Ondo State politics. From the Secretary to State Government, he became minister under Obasanjo. He was everywhere. Then he wanted to contest for the governor of Ondo State. Then he came in with Labour Party, this same Labour Party. No structure, no campaign office in the state, relatively unknown. Nobody knew where it was coming from. And out of nowhere, he fought the structure. That's the AD back then, and of course the PDP. In fact, the late governor, former governor Olusegun Agagu, won the election. He was sworn in already. He was like into the second year, towards the end of the second year of his second term. When court removed him, then there was no Supreme Court. From tribunal to appeal court, you go and rest. Then they took the matter to appeal court. He lost at the appeal court, and Mimiko came into office. Mimiko won the governorship seat in Ondo State, not because of the party Labour Party, but because of himself. When he left Labour Party, they collapsed the structure of Labour Party and they went to establish Zenith Labour Party. They were part of this election. Barrister Dan Wayan was the presidential candidate. Then when he left Zenith Labour Party, he finally went back to the PDP. So he saw the Labour Party as a will to achieve his goal, which he did. And the moment he left, the party died. So I just want people to understand the fact that maybe we're gradually moving close to that point where we'll start the debate of independent candidacy, where people should contest based on the ideologies that they possess personally. Because if you sit most of the members of these are big political parties down, they don't have an idea of what the party stands for. They just come in with the money, the party absorbs them, give them position, and they get into what they want to get. That's why I totally understand when Mr. Adeyemi said there's no ideologies anymore, which I've always insisted. Everybody is just looking for a tool to get what they want, and that's what the political parties are for.
But my reasoning is this. Nigeria is not the first democratic country. Every other country that have democracy, they have this ideological alignment.
We see.
So it's now for us to progress as a democratic nation, our parties must be formed around certain ideologies. In an
ideal society.
So if we don't have ideology, in Nigeria, in our parties, let's assume that eight parties now in government, in quote, and those 8 parties have no ideology.
Mr. Okoduwa,
are we improving?
You are speaking from the idealist point of view.
So why can't we get there?
I'm speaking from the realist point of view. Ideally, every political space must have ideologies. I should be able to pick up your party constitution and say your ideology is you are people oriented. You want to develop this, you want to build human capacity, you want to develop institutions that will sustain even your party. Those are ideologies. But how many of those parties have them? So I think the conversation would go on and would start gradually building it. Now let's come back to the conversation of the face of the National Assembly.
Yes.
I'm a young person. I want young people that can communicate. I remember under the speakership of Dimeji Bankole, I was privileged to be on the floor of the House, and I think it was about 36 or thereabout then. He spoke one of the sessions I attended like someone that I could literally meet at a viewing center football and argue Chelsea and banter Chelsea Man U with. So I was like, that this guy still watches cartoon. As at then, it was the Speaker of the House of Representatives. People, if it is going to be that way, then come back home. I don't need 109 senators. I don't don't need over 3 issues to the floor, and they will not finish that debate that day. They will come back, not that they will refer it to the standing house committee. Then 5 people will decide for what about 600,000 people want to benefit from. We want a robust conversation. Secondly, we want a very open house. Stop seeing constituency meetings as a periodic thing. Only when election is coming, that's when they go back to their constituency office. Your constituents deserve the right to know what your assessment is. Not useful. Day before yesterday, yesterday I saw a WhatsApp status of the national youth leader of the ruling APC, Dayo Israel, and he says something that one thing it is, stop pushing your achievement on the pages of newspaper or social media.
And Facebook.
Go and talk to your people. If I cannot see a governor, I should be able to see my House of Assembly member. Bro, what are you doing about it? So we want transparency, we want quality engagement in this assembly, both at the Senate and the reps. If we can get all of that, see, if the assembly can function well, the executive don't have any reason not to function. It's very simple. All of them. Professor Morris, you...
No, yet. Before you, there was Governorship.
Yes.
There was Governorship. These were not university professors. They had a better, and there was no beavers. Yes, to an era where we no longer carry ballot boxes. Prof, we have to profs now. Please handle this thing and see what we have. So, first of all, identify where the problem lies more.
I think blaming profs. There's something here we have to clarify, and I want our listeners to understand this thing. There are 2 different voter accreditation system, meaning that instead of using manual accreditation
to mark good or bad,
to just which allows a dead person to vote, that even if you have only 10 people here, you can mark 50, 100, 200 and help them to vote. Do you understand? But with these beavers, it's only number of those that came that he saw responsible for the lowest number of turnout we ever recorded since 1999. 18%. I told you, maybe I told you, in Tinubu's votes was only where they recorded up to 100 people.
The other was at 84.
Other 2024.
24, 61.
Do you think in the olden days, and what happened was that this area behind ShopRite, we had civil servants that registered here that did not come to vote. Even in front of the gate, at the front of the Alausa Secretariat, there is a polling unit there that nobody came out to vote. These people were civil servants that registered, but they could not come out from there wherever to go and vote.
They live far away from there.
In the olden days, all those
they
voted. In the olden days, they will vote. So Beavers did not allow such to happen, and Nigerians should know that. But the second part was IREF. No, to the porter. Another point for the porter now to take it
to the IREF,
to the public. Do you understand? And the INEC said that yes, they got this thing, but in trying to get it transmitted, they were fighting with over 200 strong hackers from different parts of the world, and they had the network that was terribly bad. Now, Nigeria should imagine if the result you have with you, about 20-50 of us, result from our polling units was quite different what was uploaded on the viewers. What would have happened by now? It was delayed, agreed, and they has a result different from what we have uploaded.
Bring it forward.
1, 2 is that even if you cannot bring it forward now, present it to your party agents. Let them bring the court. So by the time they go to the court, there will be elimination by substitution.
Exactly.
We have seen many infractions. How good they are, we cannot say. You understand? I'm sure many people saw that of Okeke Cynthia.
One person.
Do you understand? One person that signed for all the party agents, even signed for INEC. Do you understand? So what I'm saying that we are saying that we can see that in almost all the states. I'm not speaking for them. But by the time they started, and all the major parties stand up, the appeal court has granted request of all the parties that went to it to inspect
the materials.
So they can inspect all these materials and bring out where we have the OK case. Do you understand the Messina case or wherever it will be? I don't understand where the ballot paper are painted. Do you understand or where they recorded over voting. So the backup in the backup data already as it is now. You know, they have the number of each person have cast their vote for each polling unit. So if you have anything apart from this, good. But quickly before we go to the news, the way the beavers was configured, it must reach 0 to start another election. This is supposed to have started immediately after that election.
But because of
this, until they were able to get the call, no, a party went to court asking and they're going to touch the beavers. So until the court dealt with that injunction, do you understand, and gave verdict that no, at least once you show you have your backup, you
inspect the backup, you can reconfigure the beavers.
You can configure. That was verdict yesterday. So with that verdict yesterday, that's when the real job for governorship election will start. And that's what responsible what we are experiencing for today. But by and large, do you understand? I don't see, and I want to really thank all the principal actors in this game. I think for trusting in the judiciary. Do you understand? I think for being civil in their agitation, in their protest.
Yes.
We have to thank them.
Yes.
If we were to be in the early days, what happened? You understand that caused wear tear and left
the point of they don't go to court. Those ones don't go to court.
They don't go to court. They want to settle with their fist. But people are now civilized. I think we have to give kudos to both Obi and Atiku, and if we like also, you understand that for example we shall go to court and they challenge every fraction of the legality of result, which is good.
Yes, thank you. We didn't have the time, but what's the name? Okay, but I don't know which one to go first. Or my question is, we didn't have the
ideal thing, but then there's no limit to all of these things. Even if the tribunal brings up, you can still go to the 90 days. You see the period of filing.
90 days.
Yes,
one will be disposed of in 90 days.
Well, let's watch how things unfold. The most important thing is that there's a president elect. The seat cannot be left vacant. President Muhammadu Buhari will have to hand over on the 29th of May.
Yes.
So there's a president elect, and then we've seen governors lose their seats. I mean, let's trust the judiciary, just like Mr. Adeyemi said. Over time, I think would grow, would understand the fiber of this democracy, and will get to appreciate it very soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Muyiwa and Opeyemi. My name remains Matthew Okoduwa. In the next half, after the news beat, we'll come and take your contributions. I mean, our listeners.
The calls, and the messages and the calls here.
And please, as I said, let your call be brief.
You're not giving them the number again?
I'm coming. Let your calls be brief, and your language should be simple, to be civil. The number you are going to call is 0913 6410. 0913 6410. That's where we are going to take your messages to. Stay tuned as we read the news brief.
Headline News on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline News on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Sage Babalola. 6 die as train collides with Lagos staff bus in Ikeja. Governor Sanwo-Olu suspends campaign, declares 3 days of mourning due to Lagos train crash. Sanwo-Olu, Jandor, GRV visit train crash victims in Lagos. INEC postpones governorship, House of Assembly polls. Akeredolu says Ondo traders to embrace and accept the old Naira note as stipulated by law. On the foreign scene, UN Security Council renews sanctions against Sudan for 1 year. In sports, Golden Eaglets Group opponent Morocco to boycott tournament in 2023 Under-17 AFCON. That is the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
When the airwaves in your market become more and more crowded. It's time to break it open and really stand out. It's here.
Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
See them looking at me, I want to look about Tashi. One fear me, one let Debbie be Guru Maraji. See them looking at me, I want to.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Yeah, welcome back to the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. As I said, my name remains Okoduwa, and the issue today in the Situation Room is the real situation of the ongoing elections in Nigeria. Candidates have been declared as president-elect. Labour Party, PDP are in court. So many people have taken Labour Party for granted, and they have been my roommates, and they're quite well. So the number you have to call as you open 000410. Please try. Hello. Hello.
Okay, the lines are really. This one says, "Man, who is knocking?" The people have sent their messages with their votes, which is the guarantee that these governors will not go back to the status quo if they get their mandate. I believe Nigerians are not fools again. They know what they want. Vote for people you trust and hold them accountable.
Hello.
Hello.
You are welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Mr. I quickly want to contribute to what you just said now.
Yeah.
It's shameful that what Nigeria has been going through for the past days now is not representing the image of this country nationally.
The line is broken.
I believe Mr. President
I think you need to change your location and call us back. Yes, I think it makes sense that way. 0913-600-0410. Okay, more calls. We'll come back to the messages.
Hello.
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 Yes, Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Hello.
Yes, you are welcome. We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you. Okay, take messages.
You said the compromiser of this election is the INEC chairman. We're giving 350 billion to conduct election, and you're giving schoolboy excuses. Just as he gave for the Osun election, some of the officials were compromised by changing the result by Barra and by TPEX. You couldn't post the result in real time. The Senate result went through, but the presidential election result was attacked by unknown hackers. Also, it was alleged that he's been given. Okay, I'm not going to continue with your message, Adayo from Fagba, but we really appreciate your message. Back to the phone lines.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, fine. This is Mr. Patrick calling from Votes.
Thank you, Patrick. You are welcome.
Yeah, you see, all the, what I want to say now, I greet everyone in the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what I want to say now is this. Those people that feel that they won the election, those senators and they do the national assembly. After everything, some of them will surrender their ticket, which I know because after the court, they will surrender. And what I want to say is this, concerning this INEC commission in this Lagos state, that man should resign. He should be sacked anyway. That man should be sacked because
Why?
Yes, all his body language.
You mean you understand his body language? Oh,
Okay.
we've lost him.
I think you will need to call us back.
You need to call us back.
This one says,
Actually,
good evening,
call us
Mainland
back.
FM crew. One of the factors that helped Peter Obi is pastors who demolished the APC because of the Muslim ticket, and they told their members to vote for Labour Party. And also the Naira policy contributed more. That's Emmanuel. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for your message.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Paul from Papa.
Paul, you're welcome.
Yes, I think I want to comment on the 90 days given to the panel by the law. The law does not say that it should not be 90 days. The law says it should not go beyond 90 days.
Yeah.
So, which means that the panel has seen what is going on in the country. So they can finish it before that 90 days for the good of the people of Nigeria and for the good of the peace in the country, Nigeria. Not well handling the matter, traveling abroad for break. So I think the panel consider, because the fact of this matter, all the facts and incidents will be presented. It will be presented and nothing will be left in doubt.
Yes.
So again, when we talk about swearing in of Bola Tinubu, it's not in a matter like this. And in the first place, there's a transitional committee that is set up. So Bola Tinubu, the way the things are going by law, it cannot be sworn in except by the order of the court. So until the matter is over, so it cannot be sworn in as the president of Nigeria by the law.
You think so?
That is all just I want to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
You very much. Okay.
Hello.
But he's been issued a certificate of return, and he's the president elect.
Yes.
So until that certificate is withdrawn, he's going to be sworn in. He will be sworn in. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. You're welcome.
Good evening, Fuat and Opeyemi.
Good evening. This is Matthew Okoduwa and Opeyemi.
Okay, Okoduwa.
How are you?
My own name is Chibo Gochuku.
Welcome, Gochuku.
Yeah. You see, in this election, the only person my heart bleeds for is Peter Obi. Because in all these things, Peter Obi is an innocent man. But you see PDP and APC, I will tell you that INEC do a perfect job. Because exactly what we are receiving from the house of PDP when they were there, until when the table come against them, they come and preach to me that I want to free and fair election, they don't want to rig it, they don't want to bring this one. No, you will reap what you sow. What you sow, you will reap it. You see, we will tell you the way it's spelling all that. That is the music I sent for Dr. K this morning in one radio station. As he does sweet, as he depend us, he does sweet us. Because when he depend us, he does sweet them when they are in power, conducting election.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the kind of election Morris and Obasanjo conduct in this country?
Thank you.
Can you talk about it?
Thank you.
Then Nigeria will move forward. We want to move forward when it comes to our turn. Yeah, please, Nigerians know how you talk.
Thank you very much. If you go to 0913-600-0410. We're still streaming live. You can go on our YouTube page and our Facebook page to also drop your comment. We have messages on both platforms already. On YouTube, this one is Raji Sheriff, and it says, God bless you, sir. So many people have confused the beavers with IREF. The beavers worked perfectly, and this is what that is what was backed by the electoral law. IREF is not backed by the law, but only by INEC guidelines. Okay. Thank you very much, Raji Sheriff on YouTube. You can also go to facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM. You see us streaming live, and you can also drop your comment. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
Chris calling from Sister.
Chris, you're welcome.
Yes, I want to correct what he said. He said Labour Party have 15 House of Rep. They have 37 members. They have 37 members of House of Rep. 37.
Okay.
What I want to say is that I personally bring my own chairman is according to the Electoral Act. They said you must tally the result with the result at the portal or the INEC for when you call before you call the result. That day they were telling him, okay, you have to make sure that the result you're calling is something with the one at the portal, but the man refused to listen to them. And he has the power as a returning officer for the presidential election. He has the power to stop and check and let the right thing be done. That's why we are saying maybe he is compromised. He has collected money and did the wrong thing. He should have allowed the right thing to be done. If maybe the result is not on the portal, he shouldn't have called the result. I shall call you, if you see it on the portal, then you can take it, make sure it's the same thing.
Thank you.
So I like a compromise. That's just the
okay, thank you very much. Well, I totally understand everyone's position, by the way. But if you feel I need compromised, the electoral law is very clear. The constitution is also very clear. There are provisions for you to approach the courts to seek redress, and I'm sure your principals have done that. From the PDP, there was a protest in Abuja on Monday led by the former vice president and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And of course, the camp of the Labour Party, they've had a world press conference, they've addressed the country, they've addressed the international community, and so everyone had gone to court. Let us just, keep things cool and let the judiciary just take over from here. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Okoduwa from Ogun State.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah. What I want to let you know that, I never focus up.
Okay. Sorry. You need to take back the F word. You have to apologize for the use of the F word.
No, I say fuck up.
That's what I'm saying. You have to apologize for using that word.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, so continue.
The way the system, when they give people something, it's okay. You are the one and trust. Let everything go okay. At least we try our best. It's no matter about at least you are not working for only one person. You are working for the whole Nigeria, especially youth. You understand? Okay, now see the controversy now. Consign a court to go, court come. At least that money they try to use them for betterment of the country. Okay, this thing now it make us look at me. Tomorrow now they say that Ahmed Tinubu is not winning, that is another person or made them cancel the result. You know how much damage it is. At least when we take wisely, when other countries are better, it's doing well, especially in Ghana. But Nigeria, I don't understand what is going on for our country. Actually, let's go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is, please, when you send in your message, just try to put your name on it. You said, you greeted all of us in the studio, and you said your own take about the issue on the table. Mr. Muyiwa made a very important point. But the Labour Party has already placed their minds that they must win at all costs, which made some pastors continue to feed their congregation with information which is different from the reality on ground. You didn't put your name, but please put your name next time. Hello, good evening, Prince YS.
A fellow to you, my dearest Opeyemi, and Mr. Matthew.
You're welcome.
Thank you. God bless all of you. You see, Opeyemi.
Prince YS, your radio set is loud. Can you help us put down the volume, please?
It's off. I want to bring order. It's off.
You're welcome.
You see, before the election, I said it. I said after the election, there will be a lot of complaints. You see now? So people have made up their mind that when it really go their way, it is rigging. I think all the party have agents in their previous table. It's a way to collect their polling agents. Because when you believe in the before that is the ruling, what happened in Osun State? Osun State, after this before was in operation, they still read the election over there. So for me, if your agent can go straight to the court, court will sort out everything. But some people now, Opeyemi, we have already seen number one. Who is number 2 now?
The APC was declared winner, followed by the PDP, and third closely by the Labour Party. Of course, Rabi Kwaso of the NPP came fourth.
Labour Party says the winner. And please, Mr. Opeyemi, are you with me?
I'm with you.
I want you to be doing something for Nigeria. Because as of this now, where you are in the position now to tell Nigeria, because some state, both of them win 12 states. They've forgotten 25%. Once you win 25% in every state, you won the state. And tell us how many states did the APC won, how many states did the PDP won, how many states did the Labour Party won? 25%. So if Nigeria knows this, maybe they will do their laugh.
Okay.
Because of what I say, after one of them wants 12 seats, what do they give to one party? That's what I want to say.
I would definitely, I mean, tomorrow is Friday, so you know the way we always do it on Friday. Okay. This one says, I'm Bola. Is this not what the APC presidential candidate is? Okay. Bola, I got a message. Thank you really loud. Much more messages. The other message I read the other time was from Ayo from Muwe. Thank you very much for sending your name. This one says this issue must be resolved and everyone involved in election violence must be prosecuted. Okay, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
You're welcome. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Badagry. I'm Nona.
Nona from Badagry. You're welcome.
Thank you, my brother. You see, it is good when the truth is said. Truth is like shines like rain, and truth will set you free. And now see as people are judging because they did not do the right thing. The place that I voted, everyone, we asked that boy to upload. He was doing one kind of thing. He was calling his order. He said his order said we should bring the givers to the local government at Eva. So we said no, we were here from 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. until the rain came. Okay, now it was not only Igbos that voted LP. Like me, I will be 61 in this March 29. I'm still taking care of my children. So somebody, God has what to say, I will take care of you people, but some people doesn't want. They now went to Igbo office market and put their market, on fire. And they say it's an accident. It's really good, and we are all suffering. There's no money. As I'm here, it's not that I'm doing because I'm private. And Gary is what I ate. I drank this morning. People are suffering. They are not even taking the old money. But as I'm selling granite, I'm taking the old money. But the bus drivers are not taking it. Are we not all suffering? Why do people like to take the 5,000? And if I will tell you something, somebody phoned me from somewhere and said it's from Honorable so that I should try and vote for. So I'm sorry to say, I said the one I did, he did not give me money. He said I should gather about 10 people that they will give me. You see what you are saying? I will not even take. I don't want to sell my conscience. I have not been taking. So if I take, I will be selling my children. And my conscience is with me. And I will die. And what will I tell God? Let people be. Let people, that is be clean.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. That's just the right word. Let the people be clean in their dealings. The election is gone, even though we still have another election to look forward to. We probably would have been doing a countdown, to this election if it was, still going with the initial plan. But we'll have till next week, Saturday again, which is the 18th of March, 2023, to choose who governs us at the state level and who legislate on our behalf at the state houses of assembly, which I think is very, very essential. So, but then we also need to respect the fact that we have an institution that is saddled with the responsibility of giving us the election. However way we don't feel comfortable with the outcome of the election, we know the right things to do. And I just hope that Nigerians would understand this. I really love the explanation that Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi gave in respect to the beavers and the IREVs. The beavers worked absolutely well. I mean, my team and I were privileged to cover all of the 3 senatorial districts in Lagos. That's 20 local government and 37 local council development areas. I mean, from Ikorodu to Badagry, from Ajah to Agbado Ijai, the beavers worked. That is why we can record 42 people voting in the polling units, and the voters register is over 800. On a normal day, all of that will have been tampered with. So the beavers worked. It is the IREV that has the issues, and I'm really hoping that the chairman of INEC will come and address the press about that. Hello, good evening, Pastor Ambrose.
Good evening, Doctor.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
And you too, amen.
I don't think that going to court has become an offense if you did not fight. I don't think there is anything wrong with it, even though I have said that people say, they should not go to court. Power belongs to God. And if the Bible says the only one that can promote and is the only one that can demote. If God says somebody will get there, he will get there. If God says the person will not get there, he will not get there. You remember before the elections, they were telling us that Peter Obi is nothing. Peter Obi is this. Peter Obi is that. He's a social media person. Maybe they have seen the social media now. And the interesting thing is that your caller from Lekki now said he can candidate. Maybe they say he cannot make any impact. See, Nigerians know what they want. So it's just that they have never carried out a free, fair, and credible election. Nigeria, especially the South, when I say South, from the Middle Belt, we know what we want. I'm telling you the truth. And what we want has reflected. You can imagine Abuja and in Lagos. You can see what happened. I don't want to draw the clock back. But I would have wished that it was either, Fashola or Shibajo, But that has come and gone. If God say it is Tinubu, there is nothing anybody can do. But anybody that writes off Labour Party, they are doing that at their own peril. They have seen that Labour Party is not a social media party now. And I want people to know that why people voted for Labour Party is because of Peter Obi. If it was another political party, it would still have gained the same support that he has. So the youth should keep calm, and whatever it is, there is one thing that I can assure Nigerians: Nigeria will never remain the same again.
Thank you. This one says, Mr. Okoduwa, many people, especially Labour Party supporters, have been claiming the result in their areas. How are you sure? Okay, how sure? If you can actually send your message again. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay. Unfortunately, I won't be able to pick more calls. Is more calls, but I won't be able to go into this message. Daniel from Fagba, you send a message, and you said you don't appreciate me not reading your messages in full. Why are you doing eye service for the government? If Tinubu and the Lagos State government did well in their time, are we going to have the conversation of removing them from power? And also, why have they allowed the Agbero to intimidate the voters? They use them to collect money forcefully. You breed the Agbero for time like this. This is why they destroyed public education for their political gains. Now you ask, where is the competition between the public and private schools? It's miles ahead. They use the empowerment formula of Keke Marwa, a grinding machine, to buy the educated to achieve the Agbero. Dio from Fagba, I think you really need to simmer down on your allegations of, especially the ones you drop here. I have the right to sieve through your messages. The ones I don't think it's appropriate, I won't take them, and I would still continue to do that. So don't allege, please, I beg you, don't allege that I'm doing eye service for the government. Dio from Fagba, thank you. And that will be the last message I would read on the show for today. Apologies for the calls I won't be able to pick anymore. The calls are still pouring in. Tomorrow is Friday, and it's open mic. So we have more time to engage ourselves. We have more time to look at the conversations again. And we kind of focus tomorrow on some swing states. Lagos State, Oyo State, Kaduna, Plateau State, River State, Edo State, and Delta State. We'll also look at some of these states and see how the effect of the presidential election would most likely determine where the governorship would swing in those states. My name is Opeyemi Akinyode. Thank you for spending time with Mainland FM. Keep your dial locked. The news comes up very shortly and all the programs continue. Stay out of trouble and have a very good evening, and bye for now.